Commander Jack Ellis stood at the viewport of the EDF Intrepid, his breath caught in his throat. The massive alien ship had appeared at the edge of Earth's solar system just hours ago. Now it hung in space before him, its crystalline surface reflecting the distant sun in patterns that seemed almost deliberate, like a language of light. "Sir, they're hailing us again," said Lieutenant Kelly Barnes, her voice steady despite the tension on the bridge. Jack nodded. "Put them through." The view screen flickered to life, revealing a being with iridescent blue skin and 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. The translator in Jack's ear crackled before converting the alien's melodic sounds to English. "People of Earth, I am Ambassador Xorlak of the Galactic Council. We come to welcome humanity to the greater community of sentient species." That had been 3 years ago. Now Jack watched as Ambassador Olivia Martinez signed the formal treaty making Earth the newest member of the Galactic Council, a federation of over 200 alien species spread across the Milky Way. "This is just the beginning," Olivia said later, at the celebration aboard the Council's diplomatic vessel. Her dark eyes sparkled with excitement as she sipped a drink that changed color with each taste. "They've been watching us for decades, Jack. They waited until we developed faster-than-light travel on our own before making contact. It's their primary rule for new species." Sam Carter, the chief engineer who had helped develop Earth's first FTL drive, joined them with a plate of alien foods. "The technology they're willing to share is incredible. Medical advances that could end disease, energy systems beyond anything we've imagined." "And what do they want in return?" Jack asked, unable to shake his natural caution. Olivia smiled. "Our perspective. Our creativity. Apparently humans think differently than most species. They find us unpredictable." Over the next 20 years, humanity proved its worth to the Council many times over. Human diplomats became known for finding surprising solutions to conflicts that had lasted centuries. Human engineers combined alien technologies in ways their inventors had never considered. Human art, music, and literature became highly prized across the galaxy. The peaceful Araxians, with their gentle philosophies and plant-like appearances, became humanity's closest allies. The scholarly Noor, with their passion for knowledge and history, established the first alien university on Earth. Trade flourished, and human colonies began to spread to nearby star systems. Yet not all was harmonious in the Council. Jack Ellis, now Admiral Ellis, noticed the subtle tensions during Council meetings he attended with Olivia. The elder species, particularly the reptilian Vulgarians, the crystalline Centauri, and the insectoid Kren, often exchanged glances when humans proposed new initiatives. After one such meeting, Fleet Admiral Eric Peterson called Jack to his office in the Earth Defense Fleet headquarters beneath the Pacific Ocean. "I'm establishing new protocols," Peterson said, his weathered face serious as he looked out at the underwater base. Fish swam past the reinforced windows, oblivious to the military complex hidden in the ocean depths. "Contingency measures." "You don't trust the Council?" Jack asked. Peterson turned to face him. "I trust what I can verify. The galaxy is billions of years old, Jack. These species have been playing politics since before our ancestors climbed down from trees. I like to be prepared." "For what exactly?" "For anything," Peterson said, activating a holographic display showing new ship designs and hidden bases throughout human territory. "This stays between us and a select few. Ambassador Martinez has her job. We have ours." Jack studied the plans, feeling both concern and relief. "Let's hope we never need any of this." Peterson's expression remained grim. "That's always the hope. But in my experience, peace is just the space between conflicts. And that space has a way of running out when you least expect it." 5 more years passed. Humanity's influence in the Galactic Council grew stronger with each passing day. Human colonies now dotted 7 star systems, and Earth ships traveled freely through Council space. But beneath the surface of this prosperity, trouble was brewing. Dr. Allison Wright frowned at the data on her screen. As the head researcher at the Joint Species Technology Institute on Mars, she had access to information from across the galaxy. What she saw disturbed her deeply. "This doesn't make sense," she muttered, comparing technology advancement rates across different species. Her assistant, a young scientist named Kyle Bennett, leaned over her shoulder. "What's wrong?" "Look at these progression curves." Allison pointed to several charts. "Every new species that joins the Council follows almost identical technology development patterns. They advance quickly at first, then plateau at exactly the same level. It's statistically impossible." Kyle's eyes widened. Unless someone is controlling access to advanced technology," Allison finished. "The Council Charter promises equal sharing of scientific knowledge. But this data suggests the elder species are holding back." 3 days later, Allison sat across from Ambassador Olivia Martinez in the secure meeting room of the Earth Embassy on the Council's central station. The room had been swept for listening devices, but Allison still kept her voice low. "They're lying to us, Olivia. To all the newer species. The Vulgarians, Centauri, and Kren have technology centuries beyond what they claim is the galactic standard." Olivia studied the evidence Allison had compiled. Her expression grew increasingly troubled. "If this is true, it violates the fundamental principles of the Council." "It is true. And there's more." Allison pulled up additional files. "I traced resource allocations across Council space. Newer member species always end up resource-dependent on elder species within 50 years of joining. It's subtle, but it's systematic." The next day, Olivia raised careful questions during the Council session. The reaction was immediate and alarming. The Vulgarian representative, Sluth, fixed his cold reptilian eyes on her. "Ambassador Martinez, such speculation borders on sedition against Council harmony," he said, his voice like dry leaves rustling. "Perhaps humans need more guidance and proper Council procedures." Later, returning to her quarters, Olivia found her personal files had been accessed. Nothing was missing, but the message was clear. She was being watched. Meanwhile, on the human colony of New Eden in the Tau Ceti system, Captain Ryan Howard faced a growing crisis. As colony security chief, he had watched with increasing alarm as problems multiplied. "That's the third supply ship delayed this month," he told his second-in-command, Lieutenant Frank Miller. "And now the communication relay has mysterious technical difficulties again." Frank nodded grimly. "The medical supply shortage is causing problems at the hospital. And that mining accident last week. The safety systems should never have failed like that." Ryan stared out the window at the colony city, its towers gleaming in the alien sunlight. "These aren't coincidences." He activated his secure terminal and sent a coded message to Admiral Peterson. "Pattern suggests deliberate interference. Request permission for covered investigation." The reply came within hours. "Permission granted. Assemble team. Use Protocol Shadow 7 for communications." That night, Ryan met with cybersecurity specialist Grace Sullivan in an unmarked room beneath the colony's administration building. "I need you to find something that doesn't want to be found," he told her, sliding a data chip across the table. Grace's fingers flew over her specialized console. "Somebody's been in our systems, good enough to hide from standard scans, but they left traces." Her eyes narrowed. "These access patterns match Centauri programming. Council members are sabotaging us?" Ryan asked, though he already suspected the answer. Grace pulled up more evidence. "Not just here. I'm finding similar intrusions across all human colonies. Someone's mapping our weaknesses, Captain." Ryan's face hardened. "Then we'd better start finding theirs." Captain Ryan Howard gathered his team in the hidden underground facility beneath New Eden's Central Park. The room was shielded against all known forms of surveillance. 5 people sat around the table. Ryan himself, Grace Sullivan, communications expert Paul Ward, xenobiologist Dr. Lisa Green, and intelligence analyst Ben Mitchell. "What we discuss doesn't leave this room," Ryan said. We have reason to believe elements within the Galactic Council are working against human interests. Grace projected data onto the wall screen. I've been tracking communications between the elder species. They're using encryption they think we can't break. A smile flickered across her face. They're wrong. The screen filled with translated messages. Ben pointed to key phrases. Look here, human containment strategies and aggressive expansion concerns. And this one from a Vulgarian admiral to the Centauri High Command. Phase 1 weakening nearly complete. Dr. Green frowned. They see us as a threat. They see us as competition, Ryan corrected. Humans have accomplished in 25 years what took other species centuries. We don't follow their rules or fit their expectations. Paul studied another section of data. They're planning something big. These communication patterns show increasing coordination between the Vulgarians, Centauri, and Kren military forces. 3 days later, disaster struck. While investigating a council monitoring station near Jupiter, Paul and Lisa's shuttle exploded. The council representatives expressed deep regret over the tragic accident. Analysis of the debris, however, showed signs of sabotage. At their funeral, Ryan stood beside the empty coffins. His face remained expressionless, but his hands trembled slightly. Now it's personal, he whispered to Grace. Admiral Peterson arrived the next day, flanked by security. He met Ryan and Grace in the secure facility. I'm authorizing Operation Shadow Watch, he said without preamble. We need to know what we're facing. He introduced Lieutenant Zoe Palmer, a small woman with intense eyes. Lieutenant Palmer has a special talent for information extraction. She'll lead the mission into Council archives. Zoe's smile didn't reach her eyes. I've been studying Council security systems for 3 years. There's a backdoor into their historical database through the Noor Academic Network. The Noor don't know it exists. The mission launched 2 weeks later, under cover of a routine diplomatic visit to the Council's central station. Zoe and Grace infiltrated the vast archive complex. Using credentials borrowed from various officials, they penetrated deeper into the restricted sections. We're in, Zoe whispered into her concealed communicator. Downloading historical records now. Grace kept watch while slicing through additional security layers. Hurry. Security pattern changes in 6 minutes. Hold on, Zoe said, her eyes widening. I found something. She pointed to a section labeled Species Intervention Protocols. The files told a chilling story. Every species that had ever challenged the founding races had mysteriously disappeared or suffered catastrophic natural disasters. The Lantarians, gone after developing independent faster-than-light technology. The Vesh Collective, destroyed by a surprise solar flare after refusing Council mining directives. The pattern stretched back thousands of years. It's all here, Zoe said, downloading everything she could. They eliminate any species that threatens their control. They'd been doing it since the beginning. A soft alarm beeped on Grace's scanner. Company coming. We need to go. They slipped out through maintenance passages, their stolen data secure in specially shielded devices. Hours later, back in the safety of the Earth Embassy, they transmitted their findings to Admiral Peterson using quantum-encrypted channels that even the Council couldn't detect. Peterson's response was immediate. Return to Earth. All assets on high alert. Begin evacuation protocols for vulnerable colonies. Ryan read the message and looked at Grace. We were right, but I wish we weren't. Grace's expression was grim. The real question is, what now? If we confront them, we risk becoming the next extinct species. No, Ryan said firmly. If they want us gone, they'll have to fight us. And I think they're about to discover that humans don't disappear easily. Ambassador Olivia Martinez stood before the full Galactic Council, her back straight despite her exhaustion. For 3 days, she had been fighting a sudden emergency motion brought by the Vulgarian delegation. Earth stands accused of developing illegal weaponry in violation of Council Treaty Section 89, announced High Counselor Slith, his scaled face showing no emotion. We move for immediate sanctions. These accusations are baseless, Olivia replied. Earth demands to see the evidence. The Zenturi representative, a crystalline being named Vexor, chimed in. The evidence is classified for security reasons. The Council must act swiftly to contain this threat. Olivia looked around the chamber. The Araxians and Nor, supposedly Earth's allies, remained silent, their representatives avoiding her gaze. Something was very wrong. Earth requests a formal hearing and time to prepare a defense, she said firmly. Denied, replied Sleth. The motion passes with immediate effect. All human assets are frozen. Earth fleet movements are restricted to home system only. As Olivia opened her mouth to protest further, 4 Council security officers approached the human delegation. Their leader, a grim-faced Kren, stepped forward. Ambassador Martinez, you will come with us for questioning. Olivia's security detail moved protectively around her. Her chief of security, Alan Diaz, whispered urgently, emergency exit plan. Now. They began moving toward the chamber doors, but found Council forces blocking every exit. Alan activated his emergency beacon, then pulled out his diplomatic protection weapon. Stand aside, he ordered. The ambassador has diplomatic immunity. The standoff lasted only moments before chaos erupted. Across Council space, the betrayal unfolded with frightening speed. On the colony world of Proxima B, Governor Bill Johnson received alerts that Council ships had entered orbit without permission. They're demanding we power down our defense grid for emergency inspection, reported his aide. Similar reports came from every human settlement. Council blockades appeared around human colonies. Communication relays went dark one by one. At the remote research station orbiting HG 40,307 grams, Dr. Allison Wright and engineer Sam Carter watched in horror as 3 Council warships approached. They're not responding to hails, Sam said, checking the sensors. And they're powering weapons. Allison grabbed his arm. The project data. We need to secure it. They raced to the laboratory where their latest work, a revolutionary shield technology, was stored. Sam downloaded everything to a quantum-secured drive, while Allison erased the main computers. Transport bay, now, Sam said as the station shuddered from the first impacts. They'd barely made it to the emergency shuttle before explosions tore through the station's main sections. As their small vessel accelerated away, the research station erupted in a ball of fire. They tried to kill us, Allison whispered, her face pale with shock. The Council actually tried to kill us. Sam plotted an evasive course through the debris field. This isn't just about our research. Look, he pointed to the emergency frequencies. Similar attacks were happening across human space. Back on Earth, the response was immediate. Admiral Peterson stood in the Fleet Command Center as reports flooded in. Status, he barked. Ambassador Martinez and her team have gone dark, reported Commander Jack Ellis. We've lost contact with 40% of our colonies. Council ships are moving into offensive positions throughout human space. And our countermeasures. Activated. Sir, hidden fleet elements are powering up. Stealth communications network is online. Operation Omega is live. Peterson nodded grimly. This has been years in the making. They thought they knew all our capabilities. A cold smile crossed his face. They were wrong. He turned to the command staff. Send the message. All human forces, execute Protocol Omega. This is not a drill. Across human space, hidden bases powered up. Secret shipyards revealed vessels with technologies the Council had never seen. The scattered human forces began to regroup using communication methods undetectable to alien systems. They wanted a fight, Peterson said quietly. Now they'll get one. The hidden shipyard inside the asteroid belt of Ta Ceti stirred to life. Massive doors that had been disguised as natural rock formations slid open, revealing sleek warships unlike any the Council had ever seen. Their hulls were made of a dark material that absorbed rather than reflected light, making them nearly invisible against the backdrop of space. Commander Jack Ellis stood on the bridge of the EDF Defiance, the first of Earth's new dreadnoughts. His crew worked with quiet efficiency, preparing for battle. "All systems online," reported his first officer, Lieutenant Kelly Barnes. "Quantum drives at full capacity. Facing shields active." Jack nodded. "Begin deployment sequence. Bring all weapons to standby." Similar scenes played out across human space as hidden facilities activated. For years, while openly working with the Council, humanity had been secretly preparing for this moment. Admiral Peterson's caution had not been paranoia. It had been foresight. On the colony world New Eden, Captain Ryan Howard led a daring counterattack. 3 Council ships had landed forces to secure the main settlement. They expected to find a helpless civilian population. Instead, they met organized resistance. "Team Alpha, engage," Ryan ordered through his tactical headset. A squad of civilian-looking workers suddenly produced weapons from hidden caches. Council troops fell back in confusion as hidden defense turrets emerged from ordinary-looking buildings. Grace Sullivan operated from a bunker beneath the colony's central district. "Their communications are scrambled," she reported. "They can't call for backup." Ryan smiled grimly. "Push them back to their landing zones." Within hours, the invaders retreated to their ships. When they tried to take off, they discovered their engines wouldn't respond. Grace had hacked their systems during the fighting. Across the galaxy, Lieutenant Zoe Palmer executed her own mission. From a small stealth ship, she broadcast the evidence of the Council's conspiracy on all frequencies and through all information networks. The data spread like wildfire. Records of the Council's systematic elimination of rival species, their technology suppression programs, their plans for humanity's containment. The transmission reached not only human settlements but all Council worlds. Countless species learned for the first time how the elder races had manipulated and controlled them for millennia. Message successfully transmitted, Zoe reported to Admiral Peterson. Reactions spreading across Council space. Peterson nodded in satisfaction. "Good. Let their own people question them." Meanwhile, Dr. Allison Wright and Sam Carter had reached Earth, bringing their research data with them. In a secure facility deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, they worked frantically to complete the Prometheus Protocol, a defense system capable of neutralizing the Council's most powerful weapons. "It's ready for testing," Allison said, her eyes red from exhaustion. "If it works, their energy weapons will be useless against our ships." Sam nodded. "And without those, they lose their main advantage." The first major battle came at Alpha Centauri. A Council fleet of 30 ships attempted to seize the human colony there. They expected an easy victory against the 5 human vessels they detected. They didn't expect those ships to suddenly multiply. Admiral Peterson had deployed holographic technology that made 5 ships appear to be the entire defense force. When the Council fleet committed to their attack pattern, 15 more human ships emerged from hiding, their quantum phase technology allowing them to pass through the Council's formation before the aliens could react. "All ships, execute attack pattern Delta," ordered Fleet Captain William Nash from the command ship. "Target their engines and weapons. Minimal casualties if possible." The battle lasted less than 20 minutes. The Council fleet, surrounded and outmaneuvered, surrendered with only 3 ships destroyed. On Earth, Director Heather Ross coordinated the civilian response. Emergency shelters opened. Food and medical supplies moved to secure locations. If the worst happened and Earth itself came under attack, the population was ready. "We've been preparing for this since first contact," she told her staff. "Not because we wanted war, but because we understood the universe better than they thought we did." The human counterattack had begun, and the Council was about to learn a painful lesson. Never underestimate humanity. 2 weeks after the betrayal began, the Council launched its largest offensive yet. A massive fleet of over 200 warships appeared near Proxima Centauri, Earth's most developed colony. Led by the Vulgarian Supreme Commander Kesk, they intended to crush human resistance once and for all. "We will make an example of this world," Kesk told his captains. "After today, the humans will understand their proper place in the galaxy." The colony's defense fleet consisted of just 30 ships. Commander Jack Ellis had been sent to lead them, knowing they were badly outnumbered. "Hold positions," Jack ordered as the enemy approached. "Wait for my signal." The Council ships spread out in a standard attack formation, their weapons powered up, targeting the small human fleet. "They're in range," reported Lieutenant Kelly Barnes. "Energy signatures indicate they're preparing to fire." Jack took a deep breath. "Now, activate the Prometheus protocol." On every human ship, engineers activated the system developed by Dr. Wright and Sam Carter. A wave of quantum energy spread outward, washing over the Council fleet. Suddenly, the energy readings from the alien weapons flickered and died. "Their main weapons are offline," Kelly announced, unable to keep the excitement from her voice. It worked. Jack allowed himself a small smile. Phase 2. All ships, execute quantum jump. The human vessels disappeared, then reappeared at different positions throughout the enemy formation. The Council ships tried to regroup, but their commanders had never faced an enemy who could move through space in this way. "Target their engines and communication arrays," Jack ordered. "Minimum casualties." The battle turned into a rout. Unable to use their powerful energy weapons and confused by the humans' ability to jump instantly from place to place, the Council fleet broke formation. Some ships fled, others surrendered. The rest were disabled by precise attacks from the human vessels. Supreme Commander Kesk watched in disbelief as his mighty armada fell apart around him. "Impossible," he hissed. "How can primitives defeat us?" His flagship was the last to surrender, after human ships surrounded it from all sides. News of the victory spread quickly across human space. But the war was far from over. The elder races still controlled vast territories and resources. They would not give up easily. During the battle, something unexpected happened. 3 Council ships turned their weapons against their own fleet, helping the humans. They were Araxian vessels, commanded by Captain Zelnar, one of the few Council officers who had openly opposed the plan to betray humanity. After the fighting ended, Zelnar requested permission to board Jack's ship. They met in the command conference room. "Not all of us agree with the Elder's actions," the plant-like alien said, his leaf skin rustling softly. "The Araxians have always valued peace. What the Council did violated our deepest principles." Jack studied him carefully. "Are there others who feel as you do?" "Many. The newer have already begun passive resistance in their sectors. Several mid-tier species are questioning the Council's leadership. Your Lieutenant Palmer's broadcast opened many eyes." This information reached Earth quickly. In the main war room beneath the Pacific, Admiral Peterson met with the Crisis Committee. Ambassador Martinez had finally made it back to Earth after a daring rescue by Captain Ryan Howard. "The Council is fracturing," Olivia reported. "This could be our chance to end this war before it gets worse." Peterson nodded. "We've proven we can fight. Now perhaps we should show them something else." "What do you have in mind?" asked Director Heather Ross. "A demonstration," Peterson replied. "And a warning." He turned to a communications officer. "Connect me to all our forces across human space, and prepare to broadcast on all Council frequencies." The officer worked quickly. "Ready, sir." Peterson straightened his uniform and faced the camera. His expression was determined but calm. "This is Fleet Admiral Eric Peterson of Earth. To all Council forces, we have the capability to destroy your fleets and invade your worlds. We have proven this at Proxima Centauri, but we choose another path." He paused, letting his words sink in. "Humanity came in peace. You chose war. Now, here are terms." Admiral Peterson's broadcast continued, his image appearing on screens across Council space. On thousands of worlds, beings of all shapes and sizes watched as the human delivered his message. For 25 years, Humanity sought friendship with the galaxy. We shared our culture, our ideas, our energy. In return, the Council planned our destruction. He tapped a control, and images appeared beside him. The secret files Zoe Palmer had discovered, the records of other species eliminated by the Council, the encrypted messages planning humanity's downfall. We now understand the true nature of the Galactic Council leadership. We know how the elder races have manipulated the galaxy for millennia. We know what happened to those who challenged you before. In the council chamber, the elder representatives watched in growing alarm. The Centauri delegate, Vexor, turned to Sleth. "Shut down this transmission." "We are trying," the Vulgarian replied, his scales paling. "They have overridden our systems." On screen, Peterson continued. Humanity could now launch a devastating counterattack. "Our fleets stand ready. Our weapons are armed." His voice remained calm, but his eyes were hard as steel. "But we offer one chance for peace." He raised 3 fingers. "You have 3 standard cycles to withdraw all military forces from human space. All human citizens detained on Council worlds must be released. All sanctions against Earth must end." Peterson leaned forward slightly. "If these terms are met, we will establish a border and leave you in peace. If they are not..." He paused. Behind him, the view screen activated, showing a small, uninhabited moon orbiting a gas giant in neutral space. A single human ship approached it. "Watch carefully," Peterson said. The ship fired a single missile toward the moon. When it hit, the entire surface of the moon glowed briefly. Then, impossibly, the moon began to break apart. In minutes, the entire celestial body had disintegrated into floating debris. Gasps echoed through the council chamber. What they had just witnessed wasn't supposed to be possible with known technology. "That was one ship with one weapon," Peterson said quietly. "We have thousands." His expression softened slightly. "We don't want war. We never did. But we will not be threatened, contained, or eliminated. So I offer you these words of advice." His voice dropped to almost a whisper, yet somehow it seemed louder than before. "We came in peace. You chose war. You have 3 standard cycles to withdraw all forces from human space. After that, flee." The transmission ended. Across council space, the silence was deafening. In the council chamber, chaos erupted. The elder representatives shouted accusations at each other. The Kren delegate clicked his mandibles furiously. "They are bluffing. No species could develop such weapons so quickly." "Did the battle at Proxima Centauri look like a bluff?" countered a newer representative. "Did that moon look like a bluff?" The Araxian delegation stood as one. "We withdraw from this conflict," their lead representative announced. "The Araxian worlds will have no part in this madness." One by one, other species followed. The council unity, maintained for thousands of years, began to crumble. On Earth, Ambassador Olivia Martinez watched the fallout with mixed emotions. "Do you think they'll comply?" she asked Peterson. "Some will," he replied. "Others won't. But they needed to know we aren't helpless victims." Captain Ryan Howard, standing nearby, shook his head in amazement. "That moon demonstration, was that actually our technology?" Peterson smiled slightly. The weapon was real. The target was a holographic projection combined with a moon that was already being demolished for mining. But they don't know that. "A bluff?" Ryan asked. "Not entirely," replied Dr. Wright, entering the room with Sam Carter. "The quantum disruption technology exists. We just haven't weaponized it to that scale yet." Peterson nodded. "Sometimes the threat of force is more effective than force itself. The question is, who will listen?" Back in council space, the elder races argued through the night. Some demanded immediate all-out war. Others, seeing humanity's restrained response despite provocation, began questioning the wisdom of the conflict. The countdown had begun. 3 standard cycles passed with the galaxy holding its breath. On the final day, Admiral Peterson stood on the bridge of the EDF Defiance alongside Commander Jack Ellis. The massive view screen showed Council ships across human space. "Status report," Peterson ordered. Jack nodded to Lieutenant Kelly Barnes, who brought up a holographic map. 70% of Council forces have withdrawn from human territory. The Vulgarians are the most compliant, surprisingly. The Zenturi have removed about half their ships. The Kren, she hesitated. The Kren have actually increased their fleet presence near Delta Colony. Peterson studied the map. "They're testing us, seeing if our warning was a bluff." "What are your orders, sir?" Jack asked quietly. Peterson's face was grim. "Prepare the Delta fleet for engagement. But first, one more message." His transmission was brief. "To all remaining Council forces in human space, your time is up. Leave now or face the consequences." The Kren's Supreme Commander responded almost immediately, his insectoid face filling the screen. "Humans speak boldly, but we do not fear your threats. The Kren have dominated space for millennia before your kind climbed down from trees." Peterson simply replied, "You were warned," and cut the transmission. What followed was not the bloodbath many expected. The human fleet approached the Kren position with weapons powered down. The Kren opened fire immediately, their energy weapons blazing across space. But their shots passed harmlessly through the human ships. Holographic projections, Grace Sullivan explained to Captain Ryan Howard as they watched from a command center on Earth. "The real fleet is using the phase technology to remain invisible." The real human ships appeared behind and among the Kren fleet. Instead of firing weapons, they activated a new version of the Prometheus protocol. One by one, the Kren ships went dark, their systems completely shut down. "Not a single casualty," Ryan noted with approval. "Impressive." Within hours, robotic tugs were pushing the disabled Kren vessels back toward their own territory. The message was clear. Humanity could have destroyed them, but chose not to. Across the galaxy, the remaining Council forces began withdrawing rapidly. 2 weeks later, Ambassador Olivia Martinez stood before a different kind of gathering. Representatives from 27 species had come to Earth for a historic meeting. The Araxians and Nor were there, along with many mid-tier species who had broken from Council control. "Today, we offer a new covenant to the galaxy," Olivia announced. "One based on true cooperation, not domination. Each species may choose alliance with Earth, neutrality, or their own path without fear. The only action we will not tolerate is aggression." The Araxian leader, Zelnar, was the first to sign the new alliance. "For too long we followed the Council's dark path. Today, we choose light." In the months that followed, a new order took shape. Dr. Allison Wright became the architect of a transparent technology sharing program between allied species. Sam Carter led a joint engineering corps that began building infrastructure to benefit all member worlds. The old Galactic Council did not disappear entirely. The elder races retreated to their core systems, their unity broken. Some, like the Vulgarians, eventually opened diplomatic channels with the new alliance. Others, like the Kren, remained hostile, but careful to avoid direct confrontation. Captain Ryan Howard took command of the new Joint Security Forces, with Grace Sullivan leading the Intelligence Division. Their mission was to ensure that the mistakes of the past were not repeated. Commander Jack Ellis was given a new assignment: exploring regions of space previously forbidden by Council decree. "There's a whole universe out there we know nothing about," he told his crew as they prepared for their first mission. "And this time, we go without Council lies clouding our view." Admiral Peterson watched Earth's night sky from his home in Colorado. Stars that once seemed distant and cold now represented new allies, new opportunities, and new frontiers. Humanity had faced extinction and emerged stronger than before. "We never wanted war," he said softly to the stars. "But we will never bow to tyrants, no matter what galaxy they come from." The betrayal had been meant to end humanity. Instead, it had launched them to a position of leadership in a more just and equal galaxy, one that valued the potential of all species, not just the oldest or strongest.